This is Black Pride, Peruvian style. These Peruvians of African ancestry know exactly how they will identify themselves in the census. But that is not as obvious as it might sound. In this once colonial country, African Peruvians were socially at the bottom of the pile, and those prejudices still exist in modern-day Peru.
This census will show if for certain ethnic groups the gaps are deeper than for others. It can confirm that there are discriminatory and unfair practices which prevent all of us from enjoying what the state has to offer.
Reaching all of the more than 30 million Peruvians is the aim of Sunday's census. And in this multi-ethnic country, respondents are being asked for the first time what group, if any, they feel they belong to.
This census will allow us to geo-reference where there are concentrations of poverty and cross-reference that with respondent self-identification as African Peruvian or indigenous, so we can apply the right public policies.
In football, talent matters more than class and race. And the aim of this national census, with a new clause on self-identification in Peru, is to make sure that life here is more like the sport, a level playing field. But not everyone in Peru feels included in this nationwide poll.
Soy tercera generación por parte de mi mamá.
I'm third generation Tucson on my mother's side. My grandfather was Chinese Cantonese, and I feel excluded that the term Tucson is not in this census in spite of all the years Chinese people have been in Peru and the influence their descendants have had on the culture.
Tiene relevancia con el Perú.
Peruvians of Chinese heritage, known as Tucson, or Nikkei Peruvians of Japanese ancestry, complain there is no self-identification category for them in the census.
Perú tiene la mayor cantidad de chinos en Latinoamérica.
Peru has the biggest Chinese-descended population in Latin America, which is why we should be considered. The census includes indigenous roots and the Afro-descended, but the Chinese are in the other box.
Census officials say Peruvians with Asian heritage should check the other category and write their identity in the blank box. The remains of the first Chinese to arrive in Peru more than 160 years ago were recently excavated. Officials insist their descendants will be taken into account. Dan Collyns, CGTN, Lima.